It was another gray morning in Atlanta. The sky poured endlessly, as though it would never stop. Everything was soaked, and the city was shrouded in a quiet melancholy. Tasha Green, a single mother of 2, hurried through the early morning streets, trying to get to her job at the coffee shop. Tasha's life revolved around her 2 jobs, starting at dawn and ending late at night. Every day, she worked tirelessly to provide a better future for her children. But today, the weather was unusually harsh. The rain had intensified, and Tasha's umbrella had surrendered to the wind. Desperately, she ducked into a convenience store, searching for something to shield herself from the downpour. Her eyes landed on a rack of hats. A bright red one stood out, bearing the words, "Make America Great Again," in bold letters. Tasha wasn't interested in politics, but at that moment, all she cared about was staying dry. She grabbed the hat and quickly paid for it. When she arrived at the coffee shop, the place was already bustling with customers. In her rush, she had forgotten to remove the hat. As she walked in and cheerfully greeted everyone, "Good morning, all," she caught the sharp gaze of her manager, Ron, who was making his way toward her. "Tasha, come here immediately," he said in a stern voice. Tasha approached him confused. "Is there a problem?" she asked. "Do you even realize what you're wearing?" Ron asked, his tone laced with anger. Tasha instinctively touched the hat on her head and froze, her face filled with shock. "Oh, Ron, it's just because of the rain. I didn't mean anything by it." Ron cut her off. "Walking in here like that? Are you trying to provoke people? Let me make this simple. Either you take off that hat and apologize to everyone here, or you can leave." Tasha's cheeks flushed red with embarrassment, tears welling in her eyes. In the corner of the shop, a young boy had been observing the scene intently. Barron Trump, the youngest son of the former president, was in Atlanta accompanying his mother for an event. He had slipped into the coffee shop for a quiet break, but what he saw compelled him to act. Barron, tall and composed, walked toward Tasha and Ron. "That's enough," he said, his voice calm but firm. Ron turned to him with irritation. "This doesn't concern you, kid. Go back to your seat." Barron didn't back down. "Actually, it does," he replied. "You're humiliating someone over a hat she wore to keep dry. That's not just unprofessional, it's inhumane." Ron's anger flared. "I don't know who you are, but if you don't leave, I'm calling the police." One of the customers had been recording the entire scene on their phone. The footage soon went viral on social media, sparking outrage nationwide. The aftermath was swift. Ron lost his job, and the coffee shop was forced to shut down. Meanwhile, Tasha received an outpouring of support from people all over the country. Many organized donation campaigns to help her, and Barron's intervention was widely praised. A few weeks later, there was a knock at Tasha's door. When she opened it, she was shocked to see Barron and his mother, Melania Trump, standing there with a small entourage. Melania smiled warmly at her. "Barron told me what happened," she said. "We felt that what you went through was unfair, and we wanted to make it right." Tasha, still stunned, invited them inside. After a brief conversation, Melania handed her an envelope. Inside was the deed to a small coffee shop in the heart of the city, fully renovated and ready to open. Tears filled Tasha's eyes as she looked at them. "This is unbelievable. I don't know how to thank you." Melania gently placed a hand on Tasha's shoulder. "There's no need to thank us. Just help someone else when you have the chance." In a few months, Tasha opened her own coffee shop. Her children stood proudly by her side as many people gathered to celebrate the opening. Barron was there too, quietly sitting at a corner table, watching Tasha's happiness unfold. This event completely transformed Tasha's life. But the most important thing for her was knowing that there were still good people in the world, people who stood up for what was right. Tasha was determined to do the same for others, not just for her children, but for anyone in need.